No.
You're the host, all right? I'm not the host. We are live.
Raider Nation, what is up? We are live here on
What's up, everybody?
Raider Nightmare, Raider Extreme, and Rudy's channel or YouTube podcast. Dustin White's also a part of it, and Yonder, but they can't make it tonight. But tonight we're going to do a quick review show about tonight's game. We're gonna get into our thoughts of the game, and then we're gonna do each of us. Rudy and Cortez are. I didn't get to watch the game; I was at work. But we're gonna do a trash can and an MVP. I have a trash can player, but I don't have an MVP. So with that being said, grab your beers, grab your food, grab your drinks, sit back, and let's start. So let's start with Rudy. Rudy, what are your thoughts on the game?
I thought that there was a lot of evaluation. We played against a much better team than the Jaguars. The running game struggled a little bit. I thought it was still pretty good, but the passing game, the Vikings actually were a better passing team than the Jags, and I thought that the defense kind of struggled a little bit, mostly with the D linemen, with the interior, and a little bit of the secondary more in the second half. But in the first half, we did great. We had a good drive. It led to a field goal, and then we scored a touchdown. But I think it was due to Josh McDowns, despite having a quarterback with a weak arm, which would be Jarrett Stidham. But overall, I think we did okay, but I think we can make more improvements. We got to get some more players involved. I want to see Brandon Bolden play the running back. To me, he's not a starter at all. Josh Jacobs is the real starter, not him. I mean, yes, he's played for the Patriots and all that other stuff, but this is not the Patriots. It's the Raiders. Yes, we have Josh McDowns, who was a former coordinator of the Patriots, but you can't just say, oh, he's earned it. He hasn't earned it because he hasn't played for the Raiders. The players who've earned it was Derek Carr, Josh Jacobs, Darren Waller, and Hunter Renfrow. They've earned it. I know Devontae Adams definitely earned it because he's the best wide receiver in the NFL. But Brandon Bolden is not the number one.
The reason that Brandon, let me stop you right there. The reason that Brandon Bolden doesn't have to play is because he knows that play, the offense. He doesn't need to go out there and show Josh McDaniels what he needs to do to earn the team, to earn a spot on the team.
Because there's some players that could be better than him, even though they might not know the system. But like I said, if I was to say who are the top two running backs when it goes from first to second, it's Josh Jacob and then it's Zamir White, not Brandon Bolden. Bolden would be third because Zamir White can look more explosive. I've seen Brandon Bolden is more of a rotational running back, but I know that Dustin White has said that we're going to play probably a more rotational running back scheme, which could be true. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. Things aren't always what they seem to be. But we'll have to see the regular season. I'm not going to speculate and say, oh, yeah, it's really going to be that. I mean, I'm just saying it could be. Could be that, though. I do believe we'll throw a lot of screen passes, though, with the wide receivers, tight ends, and running backs. I do think we're going to do a lot of that more than last year. And we will run the ball with double tight end and even triple tight end formations. But, yeah, that's what I think about the game. I think that they played an okay, but we played against a better team, though. I think that the Vikings had a better their second and third strings were better than the Jaguars. And I thought it was a pretty good game, though. It was a close game. We won, but this is just valuation. It's not going to determine how good we really are yet, but how good our backups are going to be. And maybe a potential starter.
I agree with that. It was good to see. I thought it was kind of cool that Abram played a little bit today. When I was watching, I saw him. I thought that was pretty cool. But one thing I want to say, and I'll go into more depth about this when we get into our next topic, is Jarrett Stidham is trash. Like he is bad. Like I
You're
was like,
trash, Tori. You're trash, Tori.
all right, so
Oh,
Cortez,
my
did you
turn.
about the game?
I think I love Theo Munford. He played pretty good at right tackle, and
Yeah.
and I believe Nick Mullins had a better game this week than Stidham.
Yeah.
Stidham
Yeah, he
can't
threw the ball
can't
better.
be our backup. And
And,
like you
and
were
like,
saying, the reason that you have not seen Brandon Bolden out there because he doesn't need to show Josh McDaniels nothing. He's coming from that playbook already. Doesn't need to show him nothing.
Yeah,
but
but
he should
they-
because of the offensive line though. They have to
Yeah.
adjust to him. And if you
exactly.
don't do that, that could help. That could
You
mess
may
things
see
up.
him in Miami for like one
Also,
series.
Also, you can't really say just because he is from the system that he's not playing. Because Jared Sims from the
Yeah.
system, he's playing. There's lots of people
Yeah.
from Josh's system that are playing. So you can't.
Brandon
You
Bolden
can't
wasn't
really.
a main running back.
Yeah,
He was just
He's
a
a third
rotational
down
guy.
back.
But
Yeah,
I do
and
agree
third down
with-
backs play.
I do.
Third
I
down
do
backs always
think.
play the preseason.
I do think though that I agree with Dustin. I do think it's going to be a running back by committee.
Could be-
If
Could be
if
4 or 5 running
if I
backs.
was if
We
I
may
was,
have 6 backs.
I don't think we'll
so
have 6.
that's
I think
what
it's
I
5.
mean.
I think we'll have Chu as both practice squad, but we'll have 3. Unless you're gonna have a special teams running back, then it'll be 4 playing and then 1.
We aren't going to have 6 on the active
You
roster.
can't
bro.
have 6 running
That's
backs.
not.
Yes,
Yeah.
you can. They had
No,
Um,
with the injury that we
the
have,
Broncos has done it before, but
makes no sense.
not with 6. They did 5 or 4. And you got to have a fullback too, and you have that big
Exactly.
fullback. So you got to have 3. I think it's 3 running backs and a fullback, and you got to have more wide receivers because if you don't have those much wide receivers, unless you're going to make a running back play wide receiver, you can't.
Justin Hall's going to
Brandon
be
Bolden-
gone. Justin Hall's going to get cut. That's one of my 5 going to get cut this week.
Yeah.
When
the
are
fact that
cut?
the Raiders signed
Tuesday.
Okay,
Tuesday.
yeah, I saw it there.
And then from there, you
I'll
get
check
80.
Yahoo Sports
Not
on
until
that.
like the 20s, the 30th is when you got to cut down from 80 to 53.
Yeah.
Almost the 27 players get cut by
Yeah.
August 30th.
The fact that the Raiders signed another corner could tell you that Meek
He-
Robertson is in trouble.
He was trash. His number was 18. He's trash. He's just a camp body.
I do agree with Dustin White that he should play safety because he can play zone. He's not a good man-to-man corner. He's too small. He has average speed, and you can't have average speed as a small corner because it looks ugly when some taller receiver beats you. And how are you going to defend that receiver? You can't. He's catching the ball, and he's like, "See ya, little midget," and that's just the way it is. You can have a small receiver, and he can be speedy, but with a corner, you got to have height to mess up a quarterback. Tall DBs, I always love tall DBs because it
Are
makes
you
it
guys
hard.
ready to move
for
to the
quarterbacks
next
to throw.
segment?
Well, we gotta let
Oh,
him
sure.
finish, bro.
Oh, I'll make it real quick though. Like I said though, with corners, I like them tall and everything, but I think that yes, Meek Robertson is on the hot list overall, and that's all I gotta say.
All right, we're gonna do. So we'll do a hot. We'll do a MVP, a trash can player of the game, and then we'll do. You two can do your 5 cuts because I haven't watched any of the preseason games, so I can't really, until I watch the game, I can't really say, I've been working. I worked both days. So, Cortez, actually, I'm going to go first since I'm the host. My trash can player, Jared Stidham, dude, they ran an out, and he missed the guy he missed Kieran Cole by a lot. Like, they went up, it was a 2-2, and he missed them by a lot. Like Keelan Cole was right here, and the ball was like right there. Like he totally overthrew him. I was like, what the heck? Like I was like, man, this guy's trash. That was a good run though, his touchdown, but still, the guy's trash. Go. What do you think, Cortez? Who's yours?
Andre, John Simpson. I don't believe that he should be a starter. It should go to Illuminor or if they keep Theo Munford, one of my favorite players. I'm an Ohio State fan. So I'm going to always talk highly about Theo Munford at right tackle. He played excellent today. But Simpson, wow, son. One on offense and one on defense?
Correct.
Amik Robinson, he's trash. Hands down, trash. And I could go with another one on defense.
Go ahead.
Webb. He does not deserve to be on our team.
Wow.
Chris Webb?
You talking
yeah,
about
the safety.
Hogan Webb?
He means the safety. That's that number 48.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Oh,
The thing about Amik Robinson, though, is he's so small. Like Rudy said in the
He's
back,
5'8".
man, he's so small. How
He's
tall
180
is he?
pounds, though. 5'8", 180 pounds.
Yeah, so he's as tall as I am.
bro, he's shorter than me.
I'm
I'm
like,
5'9".
that's funny as fuck.
Yeah, I'm 5'9" too.
Yeah, I'm 5'9", and I'm 206, you know. My friend Geraldo, he's like 5'11", and he probably weighs like over 300 and maybe 80 pounds. Big dude.
Dang.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rudy,
Who are my players on?
Yeah, trash can.
Let's go. I'm gonna go offense, and really the running backs did good. The receivers, you know, some of them were a little suspect, but not enough to get cut. I would have to say I have to agree that George Stidham, either he gets cut and see that Gabbert kid get in and he'll be a third running back, or he could eventually be the second. Stidham, he's either a practice squad quarterback or he's cut. He has a weak arm. I said it before. He's good at reading plays. He's good at reading defense, but he's got a weak fucking arm, and he cannot be. His arm's probably even weaker than Tom Brady's, and Tom Brady's is old as fuck, you know. And to me, if you have that weak arm, you're going to throw interceptions. I do not trust him as a backup. I'd have more faith, like Dustin White would say. I would have more faith in Nathan Peterman than him. I do agree with that.
Peter.
Nathan Peterman. You know, Nathan Peterman, I think he just didn't get the everything else, but I think he's a good backup or a third string quarterback. He's not a future starting quarterback. I know John Gruden wanted to make him a future quarterback, but that's grandeurs of delusion. But I would say that the defense, I agree, Amik Robertson. And yeah, Webb kind of played bad, undisciplined. He hooked up with a tight end past 5 yards with his arm, which would be a holding play or a pass interference. If this was in the regular season, it would have been a pass interference call, even though the Vikings had more penalties than we did. So I would have put Webb, but Webb is, you know, he's just a newer guy. Meek is not so new. With him getting burned that bad in preseason, he's got to go unless you utilize him as a safety or anything. Then he stays. If you put him as a backup safety and put him on special teams, Meek Robertson would do good. He's not good as a corner. He can't play man-to-man defense. He's too short. He has average speed. His upside is that he can tackle. That's his upside. His downside is undersized, less physical, and he can't get real physical with a receiver when it comes to catching the ball. He could probably tackle him down, but other than that, can't. And Webb, it's just not disciplined. It's maybe because he's young. Now, if he works on his technique to be better, but I think it's because he's a younger player. But if he's like doing this all the time and doesn't get any better, he's just not worth keeping. In fact, he's very, very expendable. So, but I would call it Meek Robertson because he has higher expectations. And they've been saying that he works hard and all that. But when you play in the preseason, it's different than practice and everything. So I would say Meek could be on the hot seat and everything. And they had him play a little longer and he didn't do too well. And yes, he did better against the Jaguars, but the Jaguars receiver core was not that good. Zay Jones didn't even play, and I don't think it would have made a difference anyway with Zay Jones. So yeah, I think we played against a much tougher team. It was like we went from level 1 to level 2, but we got the win, even though it's just the preseason and it doesn't mean too much. But yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. The Vikings are. I think that's well said. The Vikings are like a level 2, and the Jaguars are a level 1. Who would be your MVP?
My MVP, I would say DJ Turner because he was starting to get utilized better. He didn't get utilized with Jared Stidham, but then you had like both Nick Mullins and then that what's that kid's name? His first name's Gabber. What's his first name? Chase Gabber was utilizing him good. I think with Chase Gabber would have done a lot better if he had better protection. He had three. He had the other. It wasn't even the backups. They were third strings, and they were terrible. They were trash. He did not have the protection. You cannot blame him for getting sacked. And I think that kid does have potential. You just have to he needs better support. And I'd rather have him as a backup or a third string. But if you can put him as a backup and he'll get better. Welcome, Persian Raider. Salute to you. But yeah, I would say that DJ Turner, he's the guy that could play. He could be the slot receiver. He could do punt returns, kick returns, keep Hunter Renfrow from getting injured.
Salute, my
and
bro.
You can also use him on reverse runs. So, if you use him on reverse runs, the reverse, stop by to say, that's
Salute,
cool.
my bro, Purge. I just tried hitting you up.
Yeah. So, yeah. So, DJ Turner can be used like reverse runs. I mean, they could do the same thing with Hunter Renfrow or other receivers, or even Keelan Cole. Do a lot of reverse runs and everything, and or do screen passes too. So I think DJ Turner would be very crucial in the wide receiver screen plays. He'll be a rotational slot receiver. That's what he'll be mostly. But you got Hunter Renfrow, who will be the true slot, what we call Z receiver, because X is going to be Devontae Adams, and Keelan Cole looks more like he could be the wide receiver. You got XYZ is basically it. But then you could see Darren Waller being a wide receiver on certain plays too. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see Darren Waller in a wide receiver formation. He will be in it, but not all the time though.
I'd have to agree with you. I think Darren Waller, they'll utilize Darren as mostly as a tight end, obviously, because that's his position. But obviously, they'll put him in the wide receiver too. I would do that too. I think that's a great idea. Cortez, who's your MVP?
My MVP is Munford. Dear Munford. He played solid, bro, on the right side. And I've been telling you, bro, I've been watching him.
Was he undrafted or was he 7th round? Was he
seventh round draft pick?
Yeah.
Isn't he an offensive lineman?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he's a tackle.
He could play guard or tackle if you need him to. He could play left
he's more
tackle
like
too.
a Denzel
Good. Left.
Sometimes,
go ahead.
You guys do realize that Alex Leatherwood, when he played with Alabama, he played both left guard and left tackle. He really did play too much right tackle. and he
He
struggled.
could
And
play though. He's in Alabama. He has
he's a
played
run
right
blocker though.
tackle. He's played right
But
tackle
this is
in
college
Alabama.
though. That was college.
Yeah,
College
but
and the NFL are different.
you just need to give him time. Like
Yeah, but I wouldn't put
Colton
him.
Miller. You can't talk
you
shit
do-
about his. Oh, he's better at run
Miller-
blocking.
Miller played injured and actually played.
Who cares? It took him time though. It took him time.
Cortez, let him talk. Go ahead, Rudy.
Yeah, like I said, Alex Leatherwood, I see his upside and downside. Miller was more of a pass blocker. Okay, he was not a run blocker like Alex Leatherwood. That's the difference between the two. And yes, he struggled because he went up against a lot tougher. And the left tackle position is much more difficult than the right tackle because left tackle is the blind side, and it's much more difficult than the right tackle. And he struggled. Colt Miller struggled there, but he also played with a bad knee and everything, and he just was having trouble. And he did improve, and now he's now more solid, more he's more he's all around now. But the thing with Alex Leatherwood is he's more of a power blocking running back. He's not a pass blocker. He's not a good pass blocker. He fits more as a guard than a tackle. And in the draft, he was not worth the first round pick. Nobody was going to take him in the first round. I guarantee you it would have never happened. He would have been taken in the mid-second round at the earliest. But he would be used as a guard, I think he would have been a top 5 guard in college, but he was not even top 10 tackle. There were other tackles better than him, but like I said, his upside is run blocking. And I'm not saying he's trash. He's not trash. He's very good, and we could use him in the run blocking schemes, like as a right guard or even a left guard. I mean, that's his best quality. His worst quality is pass blocking. I'm just saying it. If you want to improve that weakness, there's nothing wrong with that, but you don't want to do it right now and put Derek Carr in danger because Derek Carr needs car insurance. And Derek Carr needs to move out of the right, to throw the ball. And if Alex Leatherwood's not protecting him good, Derek Carr is the one who's going to pay the price. And you don't want to do that. And I'm not
Carr, his mostly is his blind side that mostly gets over to him.
He's not gonna scramble very well on the left side. He's right-handed. When you're right-handed, you're gonna go to your right, and you can do more play action. It's hard to do play action when you go to your left. What's much better is when Derek Carr looks more at his right than his left because he's right-handed. And most quarterbacks do this. And Colt Miller has more trust in Colt Miller, that he could throw. And what is Patrick Mahomes? You notice that Patrick Mahomes mostly goes on his right because he throws the ball because he could get open. It's hard to throw the ball when you go towards your left and play action because you have to reset your feet, and then you position yourself like you're in the pocket and you're on the outside. And that's what you have to do. I don't care how good of a scrambler you are. Even Lamar Jackson could not throw that well on the left side. He's always been on the right because he's a right-hander, So that right tackle position is crucial in play action. I would rather use Alex Leatherwood as a guard and make him a backup right tackle. And I mean, within maybe 2 or 3 years, he might be a tackle. Maybe he is, maybe he won't. He could. It just depends. But his best quality is run blocking. And what you need in the best quality is pass blocking as a tackle. I would take pass blocking over run blocking when it comes to tackles. To guards, you could do run blocking, because guards don't have to worry about a lot of pressure with pass blocking because they don't have to look left and right. A tackle has to look left and right. He has to watch out for the edge rusher or a blitzer or anything. The guards, they could use their bodies and just block people. But the tackles, they got to use their arms. They have to have long arms. Best tackle is with longer arms and big ass. They got to have a big ass and long arms. Those are the best type of tackles, because they can put the power, they're balanced, and they can block guys. Like, Trent Brown, long arms, big ass, and he can block. I mean, he's like fucking Wall, but yet he's a yet he's got a big vagina. That's the only thing I don't like about Trent Brown, because I don't know, he got his vagina hurt in 2020 or something, or 19 or wherever, I think it was 20.
Shit.
Yeah.
It was 20.
And
the whole ID
yeah,
thing.
20. Yeah, he had a minor injury problem, and he didn't play, and even Mitchell Rentz didn't like him and everything. So yeah, I'd rather have Leatherwood as a guard. And like I said, is he a bad player? No. Is it his fault because of the draft? I don't blame him. I mean, look, I could use another example. Robert Gallery, who we should have got Larry Fitzgerald, the wide receiver, over Robert Gallery. Robert Gallery was a left tackle, but we needed a right tackle, which Lincoln Kennedy was our right tackle. He retired. So he was a replacement for Kennedy. And they put him at a left tackle, and he did pretty good. But then they switched him to right tackle, and he just didn't do well. He got bodied by Sean Merriman, a linebacker for the Chargers, who's the size of a defensive end and on a whole load of steroids, But he fucking messed him up. I mean, Robert Gallery 6'7", 300 plus pounds, but Sean Merriman, he was only like 6'4", 6'5", 265 or 270. But he fucked up Robert Gallery. And then we moved him to guard, and he played better. And then he went to Seattle and played guard, He was a pretty damn tall guard, but he just didn't do well as a right tackle. And that shows, You could say give him a chance. You give him a chance, you're going to give a chance of Derek Carr being out for the whole season. And you do not want to take that chance. Unless you're going to put a lot of tight ends on his side, though. If you're going to put a lot on his side, then you're okay. Then you can take that chance, because he'll have support, extra support. And I do know that the Patriots do double tight ends. They'll even do 3 tight end formations, but those are mostly for running plays and short screen passes, and they're usually for goal line situations. So you will see a lot of those, in my opinion, in the regular season. They didn't show it in the preseason, but like Josh McDaniels does, he doesn't want to show his best play calls. I think that Josh McDaniels as a pro is a great play caller. If he has his best players around him and everybody that works compatible with him, yes, he'll be a great coach. But with Denver, he just didn't have that. He didn't have that support. He's got the best support right now. Now that right tackle position kind of makes me nervous. Maybe put Mulford or whatever his name is as a right tackle, and then put Leatherwood as a right guard. And if you do that, I think you might do. Derek Carr will have better protection because, like I said, you got to learn the strengths and weaknesses of your guys. You don't want to put Leatherwood out to dry and everything as a right tackle. He's not ready to play that until he proves his pass blocking skills, and it takes years. It does not happen like months. It takes years, and if you improve that, maybe it might be next year. Maybe he could be a right tackle next year. Maybe it could be 2 years. Like I said, I'm not an expert, but it's just an educational guess that maybe he could be a starting right tackle. I would put him as a backup right tackle, but as a starting right guard, though. That would be the smartest thing to do. We'll have to see. If he plays right tackle, it could be a problem unless they put a tight end, a strong blocking tight end on his side to help support him, because he does struggle. That's all I got to say so far about Alex Leatherwood. I'm not saying he's a sorry player. He's not. He's got upsides and downsides just like everybody. But there were tackles better than him. Even that tackle from Chicago, who Chicago wants to get rid of, Tevin Jenkins, he's a much better pass blocker than Alex Leatherwood. And if you look at it, they're different kind of people. Tevin Jenkins is a true tackle, and Alex Leatherwood, he's not a true tackle. He could become one, but to this time, he's not a true tackle. So, I think that Josh McDaniels is just seeing where Alex Leatherwood is at, and he'll more likely, in my strong opinion, I believe he's going to be a right guard. That's all I got to say.
Yeah. Um, Alex Leatherwood struggled. He struggled last year, and I would have to agree with Rudy. I think he's better as a right guard. I mean, Joey Bosa ran over him. And Derek Carr was right. I mean, that game was terrible, man. You could tell that Derek Carr did not feel safe and secure over the line.
I disagree.
What?
Why? You got to give a player more than just 1 year.
Yeah, you do.
You guys both gave Coach Miller each of.
But you got to have what's called car insurance, and Leatherwood's not good.
And I do not like Mitchell Rance because he's a fake Raider fan. I'm gonna keep on saying this.
Well, I've heard you. I did do a little research, and you are actually, believe it or not, correct. But he's more of an analysis. I do listen to what he says. He's a smart guy.
Here's the thing, though. Let's put this to bed right now. Here's the thing, and this goes to all Raider fans. Okay, people need to understand, and I said this in the Discord today. I've told Dustin this. He's agreed with me. I've told Cortez this multiple times. Just because you cover the Raiders does not mean you are a Raider fan. Okay, so It's like this. This is how you get a media job. Vinny B, right? He does not work for the Raiders. He works for Las Vegas Review Journal. Okay, so say that I live in Timbuktu. Okay, I live in Timbuktu, and I work for the newscast and the news for Timbuktu, and I cover the sports. And there's a pro sports team named Timbuktu Spartans, but I'm a Raider fan. What's my job going to be? To cover Timbuktu. That's all those people are. What happens is those news people cover sports, and they cover Las Vegas sports. So boss goes up and says, "Hey, the Raiders are now in town. You're in charge of covering them." That none of those people are fans, and the Raiders don't want it. You don't want it like that, because then, like Dustin told me, then you're gonna get people with biased opinions. That's why I don't blame Mitchell Renz, and that's why Chat Sports. If you go on Chat Sports, it's like the Chiefs, it's the Raiders, and that's why there's a lot of Raider YouTubers, because the Raider fan base is big. It's one of the biggest fan bases in sports, and you're going to get clicks. That's why they do that.
Rentz is just a media sportscaster. That's what he is. Guys like Raider Honcho, he's a real Raider fan. He's played sports too. He's from New Jersey. Now, I know there's another guy. Hammer, he's a real Raider fan. Now, these other guys, I think they call themselves Raider fans. Like, I do not like Docs, and I do not like Raiders Limited or Wasted, whatever he calls himself. Because these guys, they've been wrong a lot. They were talking shit about Derek Carr. They're fucking DC haters. Even that Saji guy, not this, the Middle Eastern guy, he's a Derek Carr hater, and he's friends with Docs, and he's even friends with Raider Honcho. Raider Honcho knows he's a Derek Carr hater, but, Honcho doesn't like it, because if he really didn't like these guys, he would not be friends with Docs or Wasted, but he's friends with them, and he disagrees with them. He's a Derek Carr supporter and everything, but he also talks mostly about defense because he's a defensive line coach for high school, or defensive back coach, I meant. And he does all that. And, and he's pretty cool. I like Raider Honcho. He's more real. Those other guys, Docs and Wasted, they're not for real. They're just like, ooh, we're a party. They're party animals. That's what they are. They are not for real. They talk shit like, who are you going to replace Derek Carr with? They said, we could go with Jimmy G, go with a 49er defense system, get some 49er players, do some trading, trade Derek Carr, trade them. That's what they talked about. Oops, am I the only guy in here? I think I'm the only guy there, but okay. But like I said, those guys are not real Raiders.
I don't know where he went.
Oh, he might have got disconnected or something. I don't know. But you know what though? It's like this though. As Raider fans, we're not going to agree with everything. But I'm the kind of guy. But this is the thing. I could talk to any Raider fan. And I listen to them. I listen to Dustin White. There are things I agree with him. I really listen to just Dustin White. I listen to him where I agreed with him, like about Amik Robertson would be better as a safety. I agree with him totally. But I'm listening to him and I'm analyzing everything he says. Now, guys like William, he doesn't listen. He just fucking says, "Oh, I'm just going to do this." He just puts out what's in his mind. You got to listen to people sometimes, even when you disagree.
What do you think about me, Rudy?
I think you're pretty cool. I mean, I'm not going to agree with everything you say, but I think you're more open than that kid William. He's just a kid. He's not a man like.
I have a lot of respect for like Leatherwood because you just got to give him a chance.
I have respect as him as a running back. I mean, as a running blocker. I think that you got to be careful.
I respect him all the way around.
I don't think he was worth the 17th pick. I would have traded down. If you really wanted him, trade him down. You could be a safe bet and get a few more players. Trade it down with Jaguars. You know, the second round pick for their, our 17th pick for their second round pick. If you did that and got him, that grade would have been like a B grade right there. I think he just 17th pick of the first round. There were a lot of tackles better than him. A lot of them, you know. He's not a top 15 tackle in college. He wasn't. He wasn't even in there. I did all kinds of college rankings.
Hey, Rudy, I got to make a quick phone call, but you could still talk.
All right, no problem. But like I said, Alex Leatherwood, his upside, like I said to like Aaron and Tori, is that he's a great run blocker. Now, if he could improve that one skill, the pass blocking, he could be a complete tackle. But you don't want to put Derek Carr in harm's way with him right now. He's not ready to be a right tackle right now in my book, unless he shows me something, and he hasn't shown me anything. Preseason don't mean shit. They said he struggled in the practice, but he did pretty damn good against the Jacksonville Jaguars, you know. But it's still not enough. You got to go with the best player for the right tackle position. I would feel a lot more safe if we had Darrell Williams for 1 or 2 years, and then he can learn from him. You know, he can mentor him and mold him into a better pass blocker. I think that's what would help. You know, when you have a veteran, he can mold a young guy. And Alex Leatherwood, this is his second year. You know, he's still a young guy. But he needs, if he was going to mold into a complete tackle, he's not a complete tackle because a tackle has to be a better pass blocker. If they're not a good pass blocker, they're not. You can't put that fate there, you know. I always
what happened? Did your phone die?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
What am I doing?
I'm not even using a phone. But yeah. So, yeah.
Hey, Tori, do you have access if my laptop dies?
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
All right.
But we're gonna
bad lithium battery.
We're gonna end it soon.
Okay.
I'm gonna just say this one thing and then I'm gonna leave. You know, like like I was saying about Mitchell Renz, people got to be careful what they say because. You know, like people want to say, "Oh, he's a fake fan." I don't look at him like that. He's just trying to do his job. If I was an analyst, if I was building my own news media people, there's 3 teams I would pick right off the bat: the Raiders, the Lakers, and the Yankees.
Yeah.
Those are the 3 teams that I would pick because those are the 3 teams with the biggest fan bases, and that's why Raider Nation needs to be careful. Of who you watch because people know that when they go into YouTube and want clickbait and want clicks. That's why like I told that guy in the Discord server, that's why Mitchell Renz makes everything seem like a big deal and it's a big drama. Same thing with Mikey Raider because it gets clicks and that's what they need. They need clicks so they get money.
Well, of course, they work for Chat. He works for Chat Sports and they do that. He's a media guy, basically. But Raider Honcho, he's on his own, and he's gone on Mitchell Ritz's Chat Sports, the Raider Report and everything. But Raider Honcho, he's a real Raider fan, and it's not because of all the Raider stuff he has. It's because he talks football, knowledgeable. He doesn't talk like a media guy because he'll say when he's right and wrong. Like he thought that Damon Arnett would be a good quarter, and he was wrong because he did some stupid shit. Like he was selfish. I think he had potential, but it was just his demeanor that messed him up and everything. And then he gets into like fucking DUIs or his suspended license, and then gets arrested and everything. And then it was sad news for Marshawn Lynch. He fucking was DUI. He went to Las Vegas and he fucked up his Shelby Cobra 500 Mustang. He ruined the tires.
It wasn't
tires
even.
gone.
It wasn't even registered to him. But that's all old news. Like whatever.
But I'm just saying that and.
Hey Tori, go check your text. Hey, could you get on your phone?
Yeah.
Check what I just sent you. Look how old he is now. He looks hecka old.
Rich McGinney, yeah. Hair.
He got gray hair now.
He dyed it.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro.
All right, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. This was we went over. We were always supposed to go 30 minutes. But it's good. It's good live.
Yeah.
If you guys want to talk more, we can go to VC. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you next time.